Syrinscape Twitch channel, where we will be shortly playing some Cyberpunk RED. And this campaign is called Out on a Limb. I am Phil, or Scruff from Baby Beard Media, and I am joined here by an absolutely stellar cast who I'm going to ask to introduce themselves now in no particular order. Sara.
Hi, I'm Sara, or Mustang. You might also know me as that. You can follow me on Twitter at MustangsUp. And I am playing Nyx Phosphate, who is a Medtech.
Fantastic. And Kelli. And Tanya.
No, okay, good.
No,
I couldn't find my
ready.
window to like unmute myself. Hello, I'm Kelli, mostly known as the Opera Geek, and I am playing Olympia / Muse, 2 names, the Rockerboy.
Fantastic. And Gabriel.
Hello, I am Gabe, Gabe James Games, and I am playing Nero, the Netrunner.
Excellent. And Tanya.
Hey, I'm Tanya, known as Cypher Tier everywhere. I am playing Strife, the Techie.
Fantastic. Now, as well as playing the game today, we'll be giving away some fantastic prizes as well. So we are giving away a digital copy of Cyberpunk RED, as well as a physical one too, and a subscription to Syrinscape. Now, this is going to be US only, and you'll have to stick around to the midway break where we'll be giving away the passphrase. You'll be able to enter that at the end of the stream today, and a random person will be picked to grab that prize. So do stick around for that. Now, if we're all ready to begin, if we're all sitting comfortably.
Yep.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Ready as I'll ever be.
The year is 2045, and we come to Night City across the acidified and depleted Pacific at the limit of these once united states. Nestled in the crux between NorCal and SoCal, the city's fighting spirit withstood decades of disease, dissolution, and global upheaval. That is, until a devastating blow in the final chapter of the Fourth Corporate War finally laid her low. In 2023, a nuke in the heart of the corporate zone brought the Arasaka Towers tumbling down, and the City of Dreams slipped into a coma. While the rest of the world went about putting itself back together, it was all the refugees of the bomb could do to survive under the crimson pall cast by the destruction of the Fourth War. But after 20 years of achingly slow recovery, Night City is starting to twitch to life once more. You can see it as we come over the blackened core of the city, surrounded by a network of cranes, picked out with a constellation of blinking lights and the neon logos of construction corps and the rising skeletons of new towers and mega buildings. This new growth is pushing back the decay and disorder of the combat zones, which send the staccato of gunfire up to meet us as we come inland. And here, the once pristine suburbs of Beaverville are stacked with millions clinging on to stability with their fingertips on the slopes of the California hills. And above it all, carved directly from the heights and snug behind its fortified perimeter, we arrive finally at the executive zone, with its peerless views of the changing city. Our story starts at the home of Biotechnica exec Aubrey Cantrell, where her little soiree is beginning to wind down. The Rockerboy Cantrell pulled off the streets has sung one last intimate set to get the guests in the mood to find their coats. And when the door closes behind the last one, she is invited out onto the balcony for a nightcap. As the doors slide aside, we catch our first glimpse of Olympia. Can you tell us what we'd see as the door opens to reveal Olympia to us?
Yes. So Olympia is rather tall, probably about 5'10". She has red hair that's got gold tips on the end of it. Her eyes are a bit odd because her right eye is a very pale blue, but her left eye is green and looks slightly more natural. Her gown that she is wearing is very high-necked, futuristic. Think that Labyrinth gown from, not Labyrinth, Legend, with the collar and stuff. And she is, after she's done performing, has a very practiced smile while she bids farewell to the patrons that have been at the party. You can tell she's done this many times before.
Following you onto the balcony is an angular white woman in her early 40s, dressed in a maroon evening dress. Her glinting cybernetic eyes peer out from under a jet black bob of hair. Can you give me a human perception roll, please?
Oh boy, why you make me do the first roll?
Oh no! Because you're in the first scene, so just give us a 1d10 and add your empathy and your human perception.
So close to exploding that die. Oof. However, it is a 20.
Plenty.
20.
Your patron, Aubrey, is relaxed after a successful night of socializing, but it papers over it's veneer over a stress-induced fatigue. You see as she just lightly rubs one of her temples and flops down with her straight vodka with a dash of mint on the balcony. And below you are the overpacked suburbs and the growing city. And she turns to you, gestures for you to take a seat. And she says, "Oh, wonderful again tonight, Olympia. Thank you so much."
Of course. I'm always pleased when you ask me to perform for your friends.
Oh, and did you like the piece I wrote for you?
It was lovely.
I did think you were ever so slightly sharp in the second movement. Is it perhaps beyond your range, or are you just feeling off tonight?
Well, no, I think maybe with a little more time. I'm not quite used to getting a piece only a few hours before I perform it. So I'm sure next time I will fulfill all of your expectations.
I'm sure you will. I'm sorry.
You seem very stressed.
Work has been... It's been difficult recently. We have a punk problem. Can you believe it?
How strange.
Have you heard of heaven? You've probably heard of heaven by now.
Are we talking metaphorical or physical?
No, the tower. Look, just on the edge of Little Asia down there. And she points out, very hard to see, down there, one of the skyscrapers among many down in the heart of the city.
Oh.
It has a bunch of, how would they call themselves? Edge runners have set themselves up in one of those towers.
Oh, well, why should that bother you? They're just like a million others.
Yes, well, they wouldn't bother me, except they're growing ideas above their station.
Oh?
These people were very useful in the past, deniable assets who could circumvent bureaucracy. But when they band together, they become quite dangerous. They've been raiding our labs, poaching research staff for their little project, giving me quite literal headaches, Olympia.
Oh, I am so sorry. And she will go over to the bar and begin mixing another drink for Aubrey because she has seen this pattern before.
Oh, thank you, darling.
Yes, of course.
Fortunately, those with real power have started to take note. And I'm sure things will get a little less straightforward for them in the future.
Oh?
Well, it's frustrating, We're trying to get Night City working again. Look at me. My eyes.
Yes.
I lost them falling glass in the Fourth War. Biotechnica gave me new eyes and a chance to make a real impact. And these dreamers, these punks, they're just getting in the way.
Well, that must be extremely frustrating. I know how very important your research and work is to you, Aubrey.
Certainly, and I'm just trying to uplift people. Biotechnica is just trying to uplift people, much as I've done with you.
Of course, and you know that my gratitude overflows.
Can you imagine what it's like in there? Squalid. Lawless. Take my advice, Olympia. Stay away from that type of people.
Well, it's a bit difficult. I'm sure you remember I was that type of people.
Oh, you've left all that behind.
Oh, of course. You've given me such wonderful things.
On that, actually, are you sure I can't get you an AudioVox implant? We could do so much more than just with your raw voice.
No, I don't. I'm very fine without the... I can't put something in... I just can't. I'm so sorry, Aubrey. I know it must be amazing technology, and I'm sure that there will be many people who would love to use it.
Could you roll me a persuasion?
Oh boy. Where is that on this sheet? Social skills? Yes.
It is indeed a social skill.
Oh boy, this is gonna go well. 11?
Well, my next piece really does require it, so we'll have to talk about this further very shortly. I have given you a lot, Olympia, and this resistance is a little unseemly. That is all. I'm trying to make you the best performer that I can. I understand that you resisted the sculpting. I believe your nose could be refined. I understand it's your face, but really, as a performer and as your patron, I really think you should reconsider. Olympia, this conversation is making me tired. I think I'll retire. Oleg is outside. He can take you home in the car tonight, okay?
Oh, of course. May I help you to your room? Do you need any assistance?
I don't need help. Gosh, Olympia. I'll call you tomorrow.
Of course.
And she goes inside, doesn't show you out, doesn't really regard you, and you're free to leave in your own time. Finish a drink or take another.
No, she'll pour the drinks down the drain.
How do you feel about that conversation?
Olympia's very tired of being treated as a thing.
So it's particularly the imposition of cyberware installation?
The cyberware installation, as well as the idea that they must shape me into this perfect image that they have in their head. And their music is terrible.
I hope she never hears you voice that out loud.
Oh, of course not.
As you leave the apartment, leaning against the far side of a deep green sports car in a classic style is a tall black man. The bright street lamps are reflecting off the metal threads weaving across the back of his bald head. He appears to be in the middle of a phone conversation. Your agent, the personal assistant with a limited AI that, for you, speaks to you only in your head and is named Wolfie, I believe.
Yes.
Identifies the gentleman as a Rockland Orgomatics exec, Maximilian Darvo. He was at the party tonight. Another human perception, if you would.
One moment. I would also like Wolfie, as I make this check, to activate my recorder.
Doing so now.
Good. Oh, that's a D6. I don't need that. Okay, this is times a 6. 17.
So Darvo seems to be in conversation with a superior, and he's on the defensive, and he seems to be repeating information that he believes the caller should already know. Do you wait and listen?
Yes, I think I'd try to stay slightly inside, like the vestibule, or slightly around a corner, so that I don't startle him.
His back is to you at the moment, and you hear the following conversation, or at least his side of it. This is within the timeline set out in your data packet. When adverse reactions occur, the data scraper will collate incidents reported on CityNet into usable results. But because I built it myself. Well, yes, I understand, but my apologies. I was at a networking event lining up clients for when we have proof of concept. No. As per the data packet, any info gaps in the public beta are outweighed by the logistical obstacles involved in the acquisition and disposal of subjects. Tomorrow. Well, I'll be following myself, so I'll be sure to keep you updated. Well, watch the pin placements on the back 9. I think the greenskeeper's having a bad week. Yes, ma'am. Good night. He hangs up, and when he turns around, he sees you lurking under the light of the vestibule. Oh, you're muted, Kelli.
As soon as he hangs up, I would make a rather ostentatiously evident exit from the vestibule.
Wonderful.
Like whipping a fur stole around my neck or something like that, like one does.
Okay, give me an easy acting roll.
An easy act. Where's acting?
Yeah, DV9 acting. It's your cool.
Under cool. Sorry, this sheet has a lot of things on it. 14.
Excellent. Yes, he as you he turns around as you throw your stole over your shoulder, and his eyes widen as he sees you, and he reaches out his arms as he comes around the car. Olympia, wonderful performance tonight. I am such a fan of yours, he says.
Oh, how lovely to hear. And she extends a hand. And your name, sir?
Well, I'd hope my reputation precedes me.
She's giving him a rather coy smile, like it's a bit of a flirtation.
Yes. Oh, a little bit of a small power play to not know who he is. Excellent. Well, he places his card in your hand, which announces him as an exec at Rocklin Augmentics.
Oh my!
His name is Maximilian Darvo. He says, "I have to dash, but I wanted to offer you the opportunity to play some parties that might be a little bit more lively. Where you could do something a little more modern."
Well, I'm sure we could absolutely discuss that, Mr. Darvo.
Excellent. I'm so glad to hear that. He leans in to give you a little cheeky kiss. Do you allow that?
I allow it, and as soon as he has come to the point where he cannot see me, there is like a eye roll. Excellent.
Lovely. He steps into his sports car and tears away into the executive zone. He doesn't need to obey any speed limits here. He just roars off into the night. And nearby is a rather plain executive ground car with a driver inside waiting for you.
So she kind of drops a little bit of the air about her, and she starts walking, and as she's walking, she's talking to her agent. Do you think he's compensating for something, making the car that noisy?
Well, I'm not quite sure what you might mean there. I am limited in my ability to make inferences.
Oh, I know. I was just musing out loud.
Excellent. I will try to add that to my data. Is there anything you would like me to note on his profile about compensation?
Yes, that he tries too hard.
Making a note. Inside the car is Oleg. You know Oleg, he's driven you home a few times before. He is a nomad who has tired of life on the floating nations and now drives for Olympia. Not for Olympia, for Cantrell.
Mm-hmm.
And when you get in, he asks you if you'd like to go home to your corp-funded apartment or to heaven, where he also resides.
I really think I need the noise tonight. Let's go to heaven.
Excellent. And now we'll move to the next morning, when a greasy, rust-tinged rain falls on the city, soaking into the red and black pennants hanging from the outside of the ramshackle skyscraper called Heaven. High above its fortified perimeter at ground level and the hollowed-out boom town where most of the dreamers live, we'll find ourselves in the Concord Medical Center on the 43rd floor. Here, tucked against a supporting beam on the west side, is the cyberware and emergency clinic of one Nyx Phosphate. Can you tell us a little bit about how Nyx appears to us as we enter through the door of her clinic? Of their clinic, sorry. You're muted.
I forgot I muted again. No, Nyx is she would be, if standing, roughly about 5'4", maybe. And they have shaved hair on one side, pulled over on the other. It's green. Probably doesn't come through very well on the lighting here, but my hair is green at the moment. They also have a cybernetic right eye. This is like a magnifying eye, so able to see in close detail for wounds and such. And they also have in their arm, their left arm is a biometric scanner thing. I can't remember what it's called. The biometric reader. Biomonitor, that's it. Thank you. And they also are using, currently sat in their cyber chair. And their cyber chair is essentially a wheelchair, but without wheels. Instead, it has 2 legs either side, and it sort of crawls around forward and backwards, almost, by itself, but you actually see it's kind of plugged into a neural interface socket, just at the back of their head, and they are wearing kind of punky, clothing, pretty much like red and black, and their whole area that they are working in is completely scrubbed down, clean, sterilized, very practical, minimal mess. That kind of a massive difference to what Aubrey Cantrell was kind of painting it as. All that squalor, but actually this is like a really neat, tidy place. And the lighting overhead is very bright, but in one area where there are people recovering from surgery and such, the lights are able to dim just to be a bit more comfortable for people. And currently, they're kind of taking stock of different cybernetics and drugs and medicines and whatnot.
Well, as you're setting up, before you can finish, a man bursts into the clinic. He is pale, in a cold sweat, and his face is contorting in sporadic pain. Most disturbing of all, his left arm, a cyber arm, is intermittently spasming and contorting into inhuman shapes, bending backwards, the fingers grasping, and as it does so, he grunts in pain, and he calls out to you as he's hanging off the doorway. Oh, Doc! Oh, I don't know what the hell's happening, but it hurts like hell.
Okay, have I seen this kind of before? Would I like a check for that?
So give me a concentration roll for a feat.
Concentration roll. Second. Concentration. Okay. So that is 11, I think. Yeah.
This is not something you recall having seen before. It's extremely unusual, especially for a cyber arm to be transmitting intermittent pain for no apparent reason to the person.
Right. Okay.
Oh God! Can you do something? The pain is
okay. Nick's essentially that's probably like a free kind of bed, I guess. Immediately we'll gesture to the bed, and be like, talking kind of seriously, like, stay calm, like, it will be sorted, just calm down.
It gives you his name. It's Beetle.
Right. Okay. Yeah. And once they've been told that, they that doctorly approach of like saying your name for like comfort. So like, it'll be all right, Beetle. Like, things will be okay. We'll sort this out. It's probably just like a technical malfunction.
Excellent. So that that does start to calm him. Won't make you roll for that. And as you start your diagnosis with him, can you give me a deduction roll, please?
Okay. Deduction should be in. That is math. That is 18.
Excellent. So you quickly managed to get your gear to scan the arm despite its sporadic movement, and over 30 minutes of abortive scans and finally getting a good reading from it, you work out that the arm is sending some scrambled signals down into his nervous system. And you surmise that you could, possible treatments are straight up pain relief, nerve blockers, which will disable the arm temporarily, or you could actually fully disconnect the arm from his nervous system, which will require surgery or Cybertech check, and it will take a couple of hours to fully disconnect.
Okay. Nyx will, present these options to Beetle. These are the kind of the three options. We can try the less severe option first. So, taking pain relief and the nerve blockers.
Something for the pain. Something for the pain would be fantastic right now.
Yeah.
God, it's happening again. Oh,
yeah.
Fuck, no. It's like my arm is on fire, Doc. It's on fire.
As they're shouting, Nyx will immediately, with just thinking, the chair kind of scuttles over to one drawer. Immediately, they're pulling out a bunch of pain relief. We'll ask the customary, are you allergic to anything that you know of before I give you this?
Oh, I don't think so. I take all sorts of shit. Nothing's ever happened before. Just give it to me, okay?
And Nyx will stay completely calm, unwrapping the medication, and I'm
so
assuming
Give me a first aid roll, please.
Okay. First aid. Just looking for it. Okay, that is 9 plus 8, 17.
Easy peasy for you. It's a DV9, so you pass it with flying colours. Administering painkillers, not an issue for you. You sink the air hypo into his arm, and he relaxes. Oh, thanks, Doc. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. No. Oh, God. They didn't do anything at all. Oh, fuck. And the pain comes right back.
Okay. We can try the nerve blockers next.
Yeah, please.
Okay.
Paramedic roll. This is a little bit more difficult to get these into the right spot. DV 13.
What skill was it again?
Paramedic.
Okay, that is. So that is. Math. 14.
Yes, beat it by 1. Well done.
Lucky.
So, you stick the nerve blockers in a ring around the mount in his arm, and as each one goes in and it enters into his bloodstream, the arm goes completely limp, and he finally sighs in relief. He waits apprehensively for a minute or so, the two of you kind of looking at each other, and the pain doesn't come back for now. Your agent speaks up from the side where the counter where it's laid. I believe your agent has a lovely English butler kind of accent to it.
Yeah, definitely.
Nix, I don't mean to bother you too much, but you have 2 more patients already, and an alert is going out all across CMC. There are patients with cyberware malfunctions flooding the emergency center as well as your clinic. If you like, I believe your colleagues, one Nero and one Strife, both have a small amount of experience with cybernetics. Should I call them up?
Yeah, Nix will just reply, what do you think, Darcy?
Of course. I'm sending out an alert now. And as he does so, one of the other medics from the CMC, from Concord Medical Center, comes rushing in and has as panicked look on her face as you've ever seen. Now, when this alert goes out to your agents, Nero, where are you, and what are you doing in this mid-morning?
Probably walking down a street, more in a corporate area, and then just taking in the sights, looking at all of the idiots that don't know what to do with their money, time, or influence, and trying to see which is the worst scum to wipe off the boot.
Whew. What do you look like as we come down towards you?
So he's an African American man with a short fro, bit of stubble on his beard. You can see like some augments on the side of his head, but there are visible augments in his eye, and they might have a little bit of like a yellow tint to them as well. Just a little bit off some. Every now and then, like he like takes a look at someone, it might take a little bit of a tint to it. And there's a smirk on his face that it's that smarmy smirk that you see all the corporate execs make. He's probably a little bit too familiar with it.
So you're in the Glen, which is the most rebuilt part of the city, where most of the new administration is happening. How are you dressed when you walk around this slightly nicer part of the rebuilding city?
Let's say a full white suit.
Ooh, nice. So you look the part around here. So you wouldn't draw any eyes from any corporate security as they come around?
No.
Okay. And your agent, how does your agent sound, and what personality do they have?
I'd almost feel like the tone of their voice probably changes a little bit, almost as if they're trying to continuously not be they're not trying to be consistent so that people don't recognize them or know them.
So you've instructed the agent to keep changing it up.
Yes. Yep. And it's probably something that like Vixen would advise me to as well. almost so that like if I'm interacting with different people, they don't think I'm a corpo, but these people don't. Yeah, exactly.
So it matches the situation.
Yes.
Sorry, who is Vixen? Is this the name of your agent that you use?
Yes. Yep. That is the agent who's the mentor.
So Vixen at the moment here in the Glen has a lovely sultry voice for you, very gentle, and says, "Nero, a emergency is developing back at Heaven, and anyone with experience in cybernetics is being called on to assist. Your colleague, who you've worked before with, Nix, is particularly in over their head as patients are stacking up outside their door."
Do you think it's worth the time?
Several of these individuals are in severe pain or experiencing catastrophic malfunction of their cyberware. I believe it would be worth their time.
This whole concept of morals is... It takes time to understand and unlearn old habits.
Your services are simply being requested. I don't believe anyone is making a judgment on you about whether you would tend or not.
Fine, I'll go. I'm not like them. And I'm just gonna like look at some smarmy looking jerk that's probably like sitting on the side on a phone call, like eating something that's not good for them and not really paying attention to the world. And there's just a scowl that crosses his face.
He looks up and he looks back from his pack of kibble and he's like, "What's your fucking problem?"
Nothing. It was just envy. What are you eating? I'm curious.
Just a fucking kibble, man. I'm on the phone. Would you fuck off? Jesus, this fucking city.
What's your name?
I love it when players do this. Fuck you. That's my name.
Oh. The family name, isn't it? It looks like it is.
Hey, your agent told you you had somewhere to be, huh? Get out of my fucking face.
Oh, don't worry. We'll meet again, fuck you.
And Tanya, you're also going to get a call. Where are you this morning?
Tanya is nowhere near here, but Strife is around.
Sorry, my apologies. Tanya, Strife is about to get a call. Where is Strife?
Strife is in her apartment. Actually tinkering, that's what she does when there's not a job afoot. And she is, you know how we joke about bisexuals don't know how to sit in a chair? That's her currently like on a divan, kind of tinkering with the circuit board before the agent pings her.
Excellent.
I feel like you just came for my throat with that comment because I'm currently sat with my legs up on my desk.
I couldn't see that, so you told on yourself. And this also applies to me.
Can you give us a bit of a picture of you? So your face and you're lit up by the monitors of the screen in your workplace.
Yeah, I have that. It's the stereotypical hacker den kind of look. The Strife is about 5'10", medium brown skin, locks with a few kind of cyber-looking locks entwined in between them, wearing, jeans, what could be Chuck Taylors, except they're legally distinct Chuck Taylors, so we don't get sued. And, since she's at home, she's just in like her usual black t-shirt, but it changes to suit her mood. And so right now it's like a very soft heathered black comfy thing, but depending on what's going on, almost like her shirt tells on her, she's literally wearing her motions on her chest. And because she is kind of a nerd and a geek and likes a lot of the things she liked growing up, she has the vamp fangs, but she's the only one that knows they're not like really functional. She can't go out and attack people. She just likes the look of them. And
so there are.
Yeah.
there are you can have what's called vampires implanted, which you can even load with a toxic, like a biotoxin or a poison, which people wouldn't know whether you had the real deal or just a little affectation. So it's a little bit of a secret you have on people. Now,
Yeah, it's my camouflage.
yeah. So this is both your living space and your working space, your workshop, all crammed in together. Now, a lot of people live in a place in heaven called Boomtown, which is called that because it was hollowed out by an explosion in the war, and then it's sort of a ramshackle town has grown up. Do you have you set up in that place, or are you somewhere else in the tower?
I have like a secret stash there and kind of a secret cubby hole where I can go work if something's too dangerous to be in my apartment.
Okay,
But
yeah.
most days I spend, unfortunately, kind of crammed in my apartment, but I've sectioned it off so like my bed and stuff is in one spot and it's cozy and I can kind of cuddle up there if I need to. Then the rest of it is just plans here, data pads there, parts I'm working on all over. But the Boomtown lab is a lot more. It's if anyone else walked in, they'd be like, "Oh my God, what is this disaster?" I, however, know where everything is.
Yeah, so the Boomtown one is more where you sort of like get stuff done for others, I guess, and repair things, whereas this is more like your personal kind of space. And your agent, do you have a personality and a voice for them?
My agent is very much a little sass master. No matter
Ooh.
what, I ask them or what's going on, and they vacillate between kind of a posh faux Australian accent and kind of a snarky. I was recharging. What do you want? Like almost like if a cat could talk.
Excellent. So no one has their best friend as the agent. We all have. Oh, okay. Well, sorry. I thought you were more kind of collaborative colleagues. You and Wolfie.
Wolfie's too fun to be just a colleague.
Excellent. Lovely. Well, it gives me a bit more data on how to play.
Likes to make dirty jokes, you know.
Oh, excellent. It's a bit hard to teach agents jokes, but we'll get there. They have a hard time understanding the complex human phenomenon that is humor.
Completely inappropriate time jokes.
Yes.
The agent.
So, but your agent, does it have a name? Strife?
Invictus.
Well, Invictus crops up now, sends you an alert. Your vast and unmatched skills and knowledge are required today, imminently. Busy?
And she's just like tinkering with a motherboard or something. A little bit. Who wants me?
About a dozen or more people up in the Concord Medical Center whose cyberware is currently freaking the fuck out.
Is this widespread or just here in the compound?
Let me do a quick scan on CityNet. Give me a sec. Can you do a library search for me?
Sure. What is library under?
It's an intelligence skill.
Okay. As Kelly said, it's a whole lot of things.
There's a big skill list, so we can
It
have
is
a
a
nice
very
variety
big-
of characters.
Yes, I'm just trying to see what my bonus would be before I roll. I'm trying to figure that out. I don't think I have anything in library.
You can use your base intelligence to roll your library search.
Huzzah. That will be a 12.
I'm picking up a few scattered reports of malfunctions across the city. Not sure if it's part of a phenomenon at this stage. People's cyberware screw up all the time, but I'll keep an eye on it for you.
All right. Do a diagnostic on myself before I go up to aid Nix.
Excellent. Linking with your cyberware now. No problems detected.
All right. Keep a low-level diagnostic running just in case this is some kind of weird virus that can affect cyberware by touch or by proximity.
Oh, that seems pretty smart. Oh, I guess that's why they keep you around.
Yeah, it's not for my personality.
True that.
I can reprogram you, you know.
I know. Do what you want. You own me, after all.
We're companions. I don't like the term owning you.
Oh, okay. I won't use it again.
Thank you. Please inform Nix I'll be on the way up momentarily as soon as I get some gear.
Can do. Nix. Darcy informs you that help is on the way, and as you diagnose and treat your initial set of patients, other medtechs are rushing in, grabbing nerve blockers. You tell them, they consult with you. Yeah, nerve blockers seem to be doing a job with a lot of these people, but everybody is having these various malfunctions. Now, you have 2 patients already by the time you are finished with Beetle. There is a 51-year-old man who is stoically sitting in one of your waiting room chairs. He appears to be pretty much blind at this stage, but he is holding up his agent, and his agent is telling him what it can see through its camera, and that's how he managed to navigate his way. He doesn't seem too panicked, although, obviously not being able to see is a little bit unusual for him. Shortly after he arrives, though, someone comes in on the arm of one of their friends, a late 20s woman, and they are absolutely delirious. They are being held up, and shortly after they arrive, they vomit on the floor of your pristine clinic. They are having quite erratic behavior, spouting out strings of words, and occasionally they stumble before they can be sat down in front of you. Now, you'll have to decide what you want to do with these 2 before your help arrives. And you are muted.
I keep forgetting. The gentleman who's currently blind, it doesn't seem as urgent to Nix as the person who is clearly in pain and delirious. That's the person Nix wants to help first. Nix will immediately, like the first available bed, get this person down on it.
Okay, so you pop them down, and as I said, they're having a severe mental disturbance. They're sort of looking at you or through you. Their pupils are changing size somewhat rapidly, which is extremely disturbing. As I say, they are spouting kind of strings of words. You catch a glimpse of one string of words that seems to run something like the cyberdeck is your best friend when it comes to getting all the information that you need. And then it cuts off, and she starts babbling sounds before long.
Okay. The person that she came in with, Nix will ask them what cyberware do they have, getting general details about this person.
They've got like a neural uplink and like a chipware socket for data and interface plugs. They had like a new cyber audio put in last week as well.
Okay. Nix will make note of that. Do they seem are they in pain, or is it just that they're delirious?
It's very difficult to tell whether they're in pain because they are not really communicating with you in any kind of human way.
Okay. Nix will ask, is this something that just really suddenly came on, or has this been like progressively getting worse?
She was like sick for like 2 days. She had like a fever or something, but then she came to me this morning. She looked awful, and then she was her eyes started going weird, and then she just started spouting nonsense at me. Puked and collapsed, and I brought her up here straight away.
Okay. I'm assuming that this patient can't really sit still if they're really delirious at the moment.
No, they're kind of thrashing a bit. Yeah.
Then Nix, to prevent them from hurting themselves, and also because Nix suspects that this is something more to do with the cybertech, and we'll wait for Strife and Gabe and everyone else to make their way here. So Nix will give this person a sedative if possible, not enough to make them fall asleep, because obviously the person working on their tech will need to know whether or not they're doing the right thing, kind of like brain surgery, I guess. So Nix will just give them enough sedative that they're just relaxed or kind of sleepy but not actually asleep.
Okay, give me a paramedic roll.
Okay, that is plus paramedic. 11. That is 19.
Excellent. So you give them sedation to start bringing them down, and their movements become a lot calmer, and their muscles relax a bit more, although their eyes remain wide and they seem sort of mentally still kind of quite awake. Now, I'd like you to make a deduction roll for what you've already surmised.
Deduction. 17.
Excellent. The diagnosis was a DV-15. So what you realize is that this person is they are undergoing an imminent failure of their neural uplink, and this will kill them within 8 hours. In addition, their chipware socket is locked at full bandwidth, and the data chips they have installed in their head are just pumping their data into their consciousness, which is where that blurb about net running is coming from. It is the beginner's guide to net running they have in their head, and it's just pumping data into their brain. They will need to have their neural uplink uninstalled, which is a surgery that takes 4 hours. And if they don't have it uninstalled, they will die within 8 hours.
Okay. Nix has surgery skill, so they could do it themselves feasibly. Okay. So Nix is going to explain this, talking in terms of this, talking to the patient, but also talking to the patient's friend. Nix will also ask, what's the patient's name? What's, your name? The guardian, I guess, this person.
So your patient's name is Proxy, and her friend simply goes by Anna.
Okay. One second. Just writing that down so I don't forget. Nix is going to, when administering that sedative, we'll be talking like Proxy through it. So like what Nix is doing, so that even if Proxy can't really respond, Proxy is aware of what's going on. Then we'll address kind of more Anna, but also include Proxy in the conversation, obviously. But talks to Anna saying, it will require surgery. We'll talk about the severity of it, that this has to be done, or in 8 hours, Proxy very likely faces dying.
She asks you to do whatever you can for her friend. And as you're setting up for surgery, around that time, Nero and Strife, Strife first, and then Nero shortly afterwards, arrive at the Concord Medical Center on the 43rd floor in chaos. Medtechs running everywhere, and people coming in with non-functional legs, non-working eyes, or similarly throwing up or delirious as their neural implants malfunction on them. When you arrive at Nyx's clinic, there are already 2 more patients arriving, which I'll tell you about when we come back after our break.